Now, Israel has admitted its troops were probably responsible for the death of a Turkish-American activist who was killed in the occupied West Bank last week. The Israel Defense Forces said it was highly likely that Aysenur Ezgi Eygi was hit by Israeli fire during a protest which they claim had turned violent. Ms. Ezgi Eygi was a rights activist and a recent graduate from the United States. Eyewitnesses say she was targeted by an Israeli sniper. Israel says the killing was unintentional. Let's join our correspondent, Emily Gordine, in Jerusalem. Welcome, Emily. What more do we know about how Aysenur Ezgi Eygi came to meet her death?
Well, Ms. Eygi had been travelling to the occupied West Bank to protest an illegal Israeli settlement near the village of Beta. And that is where she was shot and killed, and the IDF today came out saying that it was highly likely that she was unintentionally and indirectly killed by one of their bullets. They had come to that location because they say they were responding to violent activity. People were throwing stones at them and they felt threatened, and that's why they had opened fire in that situation. Now, the International Solidarity Movement, the organisation with which Ms. Eygi had been travelling to the occupied West Bank with, have come out accusing Israel and have come out accusing the IDF of intentionally killing Ms. Eygi. And Jonathan Pollock, an Israeli activist who was with her on that day, said that the incident happened at a separate location, that where they had been, no stones had been thrown. So all in all, there are still a lot of questions to be answered here. And ultimately, this has led to heavy criticism of Israel and its use of force against protesters in the occupied West Bank.
Let's talk us through some of the international reaction.
Well, US Secretary Antony Blinken has come out saying that, quote, no one should be shot for or killed for attending a protest, and that Ms. Eygi's death was, quote, unprovoked and unjustified. He also said that Israeli forces need to make some fundamental changes in the way that they operate in the West Bank, including changes to their rules of engagement. And the White House has said that it will be following very closely the investigation into Ms. Eygi's death. And on the day of the incident, Turkish authorities, Turkish officials also came out saying that this incident, this killing, reflected how Israel was increasing its repression of Palestinian protests in the occupied West Bank. So all in all, heavy criticism of Israel.
And this has happened as Israel has been increasing its military activity in the West Bank.
That's right. Ever since the start of the war in Gaza, which was triggered by Hamas's terror attack on Israel on October 7, we've seen a surge in violence in the occupied West Bank. According to the UN, approximately 630 Palestinians and 15 Israelis have been killed there since the start of the war. We have seen increased Israeli settler violence on the one hand, but also more and more attacks from Palestinians on Israelis. And at the same time, the Israel military has launched various raids into Palestinian cities, among them Jenin recently, and now Tulkarm. These are militant strongholds in the occupied West Bank. These operations so far have also seen many people killed. Some of the militants, the IDF has also reported that they found weapons and explosives during these raids. Now, observers are quite worried that in the absence of a ceasefire agreement, the violence there could escalate even further.
Thank you for that, Emily. DW correspondent Emily Gordine in Jerusalem.